And we are live. Good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, and we are at the Comic Book and Superhero Toy Museum in Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville Northwest Mall, with owner and operator Todd Hutchison. Todd, thank
Hello.
you for letting us in tonight. This is
absolutely.
This is. I paid one time. I've gone in three. This is my third time going through the museum on one access. You won't get that opportunity. But where we're at right now is the front of the museum, which is more of a
retail space.
Exactly. So show us what you got here, Todd. What are we looking at behind us here?
Well, I'm a big fan of comic books, and obviously comic books is a visual medium, so I love comic book artwork. So I like to go out and get artwork where I can find it. So I have pieces that go back to the 40s all the way up to the present stuff. So this is framed art, and I have the Marvel, they put out some really cool black and white art, and so I have that as well here. Todd McFarlane is one of my favorites. John Byrne.
That was a great era.
Just, Mike Zeck. And so I have a comic book art on the other side over there as well. Plus, I have some comic books up here on the wall as well. Now, I am just getting started, and I have a whole lot more planned to bring in. So I'm going to be growing, bringing in more stuff. But this is I've been open a week, so this is my beginning.
You've got a lot of floor space here that we're kind of walking around it. So you'll be able to put in some tables and
Yeah, I'm going to bring in more tables and have more artwork. I'm going to be ordering some more of that. And I'm going to go through my comics. I've been so busy setting up my shop or my museum, I haven't had time to go through my thousands of comics. And I'm going to be doing that and going through my Silver Age stuff and bringing out some more of my Silver Age stuff too.
Now, I see a lot of the big boxes here in the window. Are those for items that are for sale, or are they the boxes for the items that are on display?
People are asking me if I sell that stuff. My answer is no. All the boxes that you see in the window, that is for the items that are in my museum. But like the old saying goes, everything's for sale for the right price.
Once the price is sustained.
And well, I say that's fine, but my soul is not for sale, obviously. But if someone came in and offered me a lot of money for something, then I might sell it. But that just means I would go back and rebuy it someplace else and make a profit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my lottery ticket to come through because I know what I would be picking out back here, having seen what's in store. Now, of course, before we walk in here, you've got some action figures on the shelf here, and I'm a member of the Superpowers fan club on Facebook. These are, of course, the little statues, but we have Superman, Robin, Green Lantern, and the Flash, and these are statue reproductions of the original toys, right?
Well, let's go show them the whole set over here. It's open, and they can see all of them. I had a Batman, but I sold the Batman just the other day. So here's the whole set. Actually, I just saw a picture. I don't know if it's real or not. Maybe someone could let us know. I just saw a picture of someone having a Superpowers Aquaman that goes with the set, but I could not find it anywhere for sale. So I don't know if it was something that someone made to fit with that line or if it's actually made. But right now I don't know. But I think that's the whole set. Possibly Aquaman might be out there as well. But let's go ahead and show the viewers one of the true gems of my collection.
Yes, while we're sitting here looking at action figures, this one's a special one. Can you tell us about why this is here with the action figures?
Well, first of all, folks, this is what I like to say. When you talk to action figure collectors and you ask them, what is the first action figure ever made? 99.9% of those collectors will tell you with complete confidence, everybody knows that the first action figure was G.I. Joe in 1964. Well, that's actually not true. If they did just a little more research, they would find out that in 1940, going into 1941, the Ideal Toy Company actually made the first action figure. Now, what they didn't have is the term action figure. They called it a Superman doll. But this is an action figure. It's got articulation. It moves. The head moves. The arm moves. So it is an action figure. It's 12 inches tall. It is made of wood and pressed wood. And this is it. This is the first action figure ever made.
Now, this is not a reproduction.
It is not. It's the real deal. And most of the ones that you see, especially the face and the chest, are usually cracked. So, to find one in this shape with the chest intact and the face intact is what I was really looking for. Now, I did have to replace the cape, but everything else is original. Sometimes you'll find these also have been stripped and repainted. I did not want some of that. I just wanted, the natural patina on it. So that is the first action figure. That is the oldest toy in my collection. Now, I got that as an adult. I got that about 10 years ago. The oldest toy in my collection that I had when I was just a kid is this little King Kong figure right over here. It's not valuable or anything like that. It's just valuable to me because I had that when I was 3. So if people ask me, Todd, what's the first toy? What's the oldest toy in your collection? Well, I'm going to tell them chronologically it's a Superman, but I've had this the longest. I've had that for basically 47 years.
And you've got he's next to a spider buggy, which we all remember the
old spider cartoons like that. Yeah, I love that stuff. And then Mego below that.
Big fans of Mego on Facebook. I'm a member of that group too. I just don't participate in it quite as much. Just to play Antiques Roadshow here for a moment. If you were to take that Superman figure in, what would you estimate it would be appraised at for auction?
Well, I would think that this particular figure, not having the original cape, but in the shape that it's in, I would put this at around $2,000. I would think. Maybe more than that. It might be more than that. I'm kind of going low instead of high. I would say probably around 2,000. But I haven't really looked at the values for a long time. Now I know that if they have the original cape and they actually came in a box, if you have the box that came with it, we can be 10,000 plus.
The box is always important.
It's a very boring box. So if you've ever seen it, it's white. It looks like a shoebox, and on one side of it, it has just a piece of paper that says Superman toy on it, Superman doll on it. So the box there's no beautiful artwork on it. There's nothing really cool about it. So the box is kind of lame. You're not even going to want to display it. But the figure speaks for itself. I mean, that is a true gem. If you can ever find one, jump on it if it's reasonable.
It's a beautiful piece.
Yes.
So which way do you want to go here? I know where your primary interest lies because it's where you took it the first time. So maybe we should cycle around here and take a trip to Eternia.
Well, yes. So actually, the first thing over here is my comic book wall. That's probably what you'll see when you first kind of walk in. And so I've been a comic book collector longer than I've been a toy collector. And so I have 2 walls because I collect mostly Marvel and DC. So this is my Marvel wall right here. And then I have some graded comics at the end. And then around the corner is my DC. But on this side also, you'll probably see here in a minute, is my Masters of the Universe toy collection is on the other side of this comic book wall.
I'm trying to hold on to a selfie stick, folks. So if it rotates on you and gets you sick, my apologies. I'm trying to keep it as steady as possible. So yeah, I'm going to position myself so that when I turn around, I show the big kahuna of the set.
Yes.
Because this is what makes collectors' mouths water, and this is Eternia.
This is Eternia. It took a year and a half of waiting to get it, but once you get it and put it together, then you're like, yes, it was well worth the wait.
So this was a HasLabs project, I believe?
This was not a HasLab. This was, because the HasLab's Hasbro, this was Mattel.
Oh.
But it's basically the same concept. Mattel put out this, I guess you call it a Kickstarter, and they had to get 5,000 backers before they would produce it. I think they ended up getting about 6,000 backers. But, the price tag was pretty hefty. It was $600, and then the shipping was $50. So we're looking at $650. But the bad thing for me was waiting a year and a half. I mean, really, you had to wait a year and a half to get this thing. So you just basically have to buy it and then basically put it out of your mind, forget about it for a year and a half, and then it just shows up magically. Like, wow, look at that.
I know viewers are watching us right now thinking, wow, you got a Kickstarter in a year and a half? So how lucky are you?
Oh, right. I know some take longer, but usually like the HasLabs are about a year. So In my experience, for me, what I buy, usually a year is about the longest I've had to wait.
And we also have Castle Grayskull sitting here in front of us.
So that's the He-Man Classics line. And then next to it is the last piece they made in the He-Man Classics line was the Snake Mountain. And I got to say that it's probably even better than Eternia. For me, at least in my humble opinion, the Snake Mountain is the ultimate of these play sets. Just the size of it, and you actually got a snake wrapped around it. And you can't see it because I have things on the backside, but just all the stuff on the inside. It's just an amazing, amazing piece. Eternia is right there, but I would put Snake Mountain over Eternia.
And you have the entire population of Eternia along the walls here from different eras
Yes.
and different collections.
Yes, so I do have the entire He-Man Classics line, which started as a mail order. We talked about the other day. You basically had to sign up with Mattel and basically buy 1 to 3 figures a month. They would send it to you in the mail. And so it ran for, I think, 10 or 12 years. And it's just a beautiful line. Most Motu collectors consider it to be the best He-Man line ever made. I would have to agree with them in that assessment. I think that just for the variety of characters, the sculpts that they made, that it is the best He-Man line. May not be my personal favorite, but I think it's the best.
And then, which one is the original, the first production line? This
it's going to be down there. This, what right here you see here is the stuff that they're coming out right now. This is the origin lines. You can get this stuff at retail now. Well, I say retail, but you can barely find this stuff at Walmart or Target. Mostly you have to go online to find a lot of the stuff. And then they also have the Masterverse line right now. And I really like both lines. I like all these lines. But really this Masterverse line, they're doing an excellent job, I feel, with some of these characters and some of these sculpts. So I really appreciate this line.
Yeah, they do look great. And especially, they really look great all masked together. I mean,
yeah,
you see a toy, you're like, oh, it's a toy. When you see a collection together, like, now that's impressive.
Yep.
So
a lot of people either hate or love they call it the 2000X line. I'm somewhere in the middle. I like them. I don't love them. Some of the figures are really well made, and some of them are not.
And they were slimmer. They didn't have.
Yeah, they were slimmer. They weren't as bulky. What I really did appreciate about this line is the 3-season cartoon series. And what they did with that cartoon series is they went back and they filled in a lot of holes, and they filled in a lot of the history and mythology of a lot of these characters. And so you learn a lot by watching that 2000X He-Man cartoon. And here's the original figures on the very end.
Of course, all the vehicles and items on the bottom.
The thing that captured my imagination the most about the original He-Man figures, and this is probably for a lot of people, is the artwork on the boxes. For me, this is personal, but for me, there is no toy line that comes close to the artwork on these original He-Man, this original He-Man line. The artwork is just phenomenal.
Now, am I misremembering, or did those originals come with a little mini comic book?
Yes, they did. Yeah, I have all those mini comics. Yeah, and they've collected all the mini comics together in a graphic novel, and you can find it. It's like 1,000 pages long, and it's like $30. So if you are a fan of the mini comics, you remember them fondly, then I would say definitely go online and find the whole series all in one shot, and then just read it. And it's a great read.
And they're little short stories. I mean, it's not like you had to.
Right. Yeah. The mini comics were like 5 or 6 pages. And some of them were just fantastic, and some of them were kind of cheesy, but some were really, really good.
They were there to introduce the character that you just bought.
Right.
This is the other comic. Well, this is where I start mouth watering. I mean, I appreciate Marvel comics, but DC.
So basically, you would have the DC wall over here and have it much larger, and the Marvel wall would be over here, so a little bit smaller.
Marvel gets a corner. Yeah.
You're right.
You have Amazing Fantasy number 15, and then a couple.
Well, I love DC. Just like I love Marvel. It just worked out this way that this wall was smaller than my other wall. And I didn't want to have a mix of DC and Marvel. I just kind of wanted to keep it separate. So that wall got my Marvel. this wall got my DC. Now, this is going to be a rotating display. So if you come into my museum, you're not going to see the same comics year round. So in my mind, every couple of months, I'm going to take all these comics down, put them back away, and pick out from my 30,000 other comics. I'm going to bring those out and put other comics on display. So this will be rotating.
And folks, there's just the classic titles that you don't see all the time anymore. The Treasury editions with Superman versus Spider-Man.
Yes, those are great.
And Spider-Man. Batman versus the Hulk. Batman won again because he had prep time. Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Guess who wins that, folks?
The Crisis issue, the seminal death of Supergirl.
Signed by George Perez.
God rest his soul.
Yep.
The first appearance of Swamp Thing, the Bernie Wrightson cover that Louise Simonson posed for. That's her in there.
Yeah.
You got no. That's a reprint, right?
Yeah, that one is.
Oh,
yeah.
I about had a heart attack. But your first Poison Ivy, your 200th issue of Batman, showcase number 4. I want that in my collection someday. I had a chance at that for $500, and they sold it under duress for bill paying, and I'm like, I would have given you $500 for it.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, over here, I got my Transformers. Might want to check that out. And we'll look up here. It's the biggest Transformer toy they've ever made. So right there is Unicron. So that was the HasLab. One of the better HasLabs I think they've done.
That's one big trend. So how long does it take to transform him into whatever he transforms?
You know what's funny is when I got that, he comes in planet mode. He comes in a big box. He's a big piece of big planet. And so I'm not going to try to read the paper instructions. I just went on YouTube and I found someone transforming it, and literally it took me an hour and a half. It took me an hour and a half to transform that into to the robot mode. Well, first of all, you spent $1,000 on the thing. You don't want a chance anything breaking, so you're being very careful. But it is not user friendly to transform. So I'm going to leave it as the robot. If I ever want the planet, I'm just going to have to buy another one to have a planet mode. And
then, of course, here they all are lined up in various incarnations from various lines.
So I kind of the down here I have the G1 stuff. So right here is G1, and then down below that is a G1 as well. I had more Autobots than Decepticons. And I have a few more sprinkled over here, but then you have some more of the modern stuff. And Transformers, my goodness, there's just an endless amount of Transformers. I think Transformers would be one of the most difficult lines to try to collect all of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
There's just so many variations, and then you have the movie characters as well. So one of the things that I do is I just buy the ones that I really like. Now I want.
You really like a lot of them.
Well, yeah. Have you noticed? I want to go back and get all the G1 stuff, and I have a lot of it. There are a few pieces I'm missing, but with the new stuff, I'm just going to be buying really the stuff that I really like. It stands out to me.
So Transformers versus GoBots. Who's coming out ahead on that one?
Well, Transformers, of course, the variety. The GoBots, they didn't have the variety that they do in Transformers, and plus most of the GoBots were really small. And if you got bigger, the GoBots that were bigger, they didn't look that good. They didn't transform that good. Sorry to any GoBot fans out there. I'm not saying they're bad, but compared to the quality and the transformations of the Transformers, they blow GoBots out of the water. But GoBots were, I think, actually first. I think they're actually before.
So we have the parasocial audience is in the chat here, and he's asking. And I had this question the other day as well, but I didn't want to ask it because I didn't want to make you worry. How do you dust them without knocking them all over?
Well, I've only been open for a week, okay? And I set these up. It took me about a month and a half to set all these up. So right now, I'm not really thinking about dusting these. So when maybe a year from now, I'll think about it. So I'm hoping that this will not be a very dusty environment. I'm going to clean, obviously, the outside, keep it all nice and clean. But the figures that are inside, I'm hoping that there's not going to be a whole lot of dust on them. And if there is a lot of dust, in about a year from now, then I'll worry about that then.
Maybe when you swap displays out, you'll take them out and wash them.
Right. But what I usually do is go,
yes.
That's usually my dusting for, hundreds of figures lined up together. That's what I usually do.
I have a very loose feather duster that I use on my Legos.
Yeah.
Because I am in a very dusty environment. It picks up real quick here.
Well, let's go down and look at these Mondos. I got some cool He-Man Mondos. Maybe some of you out there are fans of the Mondo stuff.
Now, what is a Mondo?
Well, that's the name of the company.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the name of the company. And so they put out these very large 12-inch figures. And I don't have them all. But the quality of these pieces can't be overstated. They're just an amazing quality, museum quality piece, and they're just fantastic pieces. But they're for someone who has the money. They're about $230, sometimes $350 a pop. So they will set you back quite a bit, but they are an amazing piece.
I don't remember ever having seen Motu Legos before.
Well, these are from China. I'm pretty sure they are unlicensed, but I was on eBay one day going through some Masters of the Universe stuff, and this set popped up, and I thought they're really well made. They look like the characters, and I thought, wow. And at the time, they were very cheap. I think I got all of that whole set for around $20. I think it was like $19.99.
And unlike other Lego knockoffs, they have Lego hands.
And they have the weapons, and they're really good. Now, I like the Legos that they put out now too. These are Legos down here, and I think they're well done. I really like the characters and things like that on them as well. I just got the Eternia. That's the last piece I got. So it's just a fun little thing to get and put together, these Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love doing it. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. I will point out one last thing up here I think is really cool. It was a PowerCon exclusive. And when He-Man first came out, the first title that they had for it was going to be called the Lords of Power. And so they ended up getting rid of that, and they came up with Master of the Universe. So that setup there is like the Lords of Power. So you can tell Skeletor's face is a little bit different. I don't know if you can see Beastman down there, but they were just a little bit different on those characters. So they remade them, and they put them out in that PowerCon set, and that's a set that I really do like. PowerCon, they always put out some really cool exclusives every year.
Now behind us, I noticed there is there is if you like Crisis, if you like Secret Wars, the one where everybody's together in a big fight, this table is going to melt your mind.
If you like miniatures, if you are a fan of HeroClix, HeroScape, any of that kind of stuff, this is my HeroClix table.
What would you do if you were playing HeroClix and 300 friends showed up?
Well, I guess you said, okay, we're all going to have 300-point teams, and we're all going to pick.
And you've even got Galactus versus Fin Fang Foom.
Yep. I would put my money on Galactus on that.
Yeah. What planet are you on, Foom? I'll just eat it.
Right, exactly. Even though I think Fin Fang Foom might actually be bigger than Galactus, but
Galactus's size changes depending on the panel size availability.
There's been in the comic books where he absorbed like stars, where he was almost as large as a planet. I mean, so he changes, yes. And then of course he's shrunk down, barely bigger than a human being before too.
We have covered. What do you think? We covered about a fourth of the museum so far.
Yeah, maybe about 20%.
So now we're coming up to your Star Wars collection here.
Well, I just got these Street Fighter figures up here. I just got those this last week, and I thought they were really cool. And what I really like about those is that they come in like video or arcade boxes. It looks like a video game. So I just got those, and I think they're really neat. And then I got that cool. My second oldest toy is that Godzilla there.
So your oldest is King Kong. Your second's Godzilla. I know what you watched growing up.
And I don't know what my third oldest is. I don't know, but yeah, King Kong #1, Godzilla #2.
You were definitely into the big monster movies, though. Creature features.
Yes, and then my favorite superhero is the Incredible Hulk. Maybe it's something to do with green. I don't know.
So these Star Wars figures here. These are new.
The Black Series. Yeah, these are new, called the Black Series. And I just have an affinity for bad guys. I have an affinity for the stormtroopers. So that's mostly what we're going to find here is various stormtroopers and some of the bounty hunters.
I didn't know that Vader had a snowsuit.
You know what? That's actually supposed to be, it's from a comic book. Now, I haven't read it, so I don't really know. But I think that's supposed to be some kind of reincarnated good guy Darth Vader.
Oh.
That's what I think it's supposed to be. Yeah, I would have thought the same thing. But on the cover, that toy came with a comic book. And it was something to do with Darth Vader, right, resurrected. And, I haven't read it, so I don't really know. So here's more HeroClix.
Yes. Now this is another HeroClix to scale. This is the Spectre.
The Spectre, which is the Wrath of God. Which, if you think about it, he would be probably the most scary dude to fight.
Yes.
Who wants to fight the Wrath of God? Not me.
There are sets down here that I don't know what they were. I'm looking at like little weebles.
Right. Yep. There's some weird. I mean, they put out so many different little sets of things. I don't even remember the name of some of that stuff.
I think those are Kubrick's.
Yeah, those are Kubrick's. But yeah, in front of those are like some little, I don't know. And then the superhero heads in the back. I don't know what you call those things, but they're basically just a superhero head, little plastic.
What is that bowl with the old Bill Finger,
the Joker.
Joker in it?
That is from the mid '60s when the TV show came out. They made thousands of different pieces of merchandise. That is from that era at some point.
I think I have the companion piece.
You got a Batman piece?
I have a white milk glass coffee mug with a black and white Batman drawing.
I think I have it over there.
Okay, we'll take a look.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's the same one.
That's so funny. I brought that in today. I do have some Marvel props. The Marvel Legends put out these helmets, and I think they're great. The Iron Man, the Magneto.
Oh, I would kill for a Magneto helmet.
Yeah. Well, I got two. So I had about 20 years ago, there's a company called Factory X that made some props. They made the Cyclops visor. They made the Doctor Doom helmet, which you can actually wear that. They made this Iron Man helmet, which you can actually wear. And they made this Magneto helmet right here. And they also made this Thor hammer right here. And they also made a Captain America shield that I have on the wall. So those were Factory X. They were the first ones to make these Marvel props. And like I said, I think they're about 20 years old now. And then, of course, Marvel Legends are the ones who do these more modern props that we see here. And you know what? I forgot to point out. I actually have some more Factory X. This is Nick Fury's needle gun. That is a Factory X prop. And then Stormbreaker. That's Better A Bill's helmet. That was Factory X as well. And then, of course, you had the Marvel Legends gauntlets in the back.
Now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got those in the back.
Needle gun in there. There it is. Right
yeah, the needle gun. I thought that was pretty neat. And it's not a real gun.
No, of course not.
Just a replica.
Just a toy, people.
Can't pull the trigger on it. Okay, so we have gotten to where the superheroes are really at.
Yes. Now this is...
So we could do the Batmobiles. Maybe do the Batmobiles.
We may as well. The camera's pointing in that direction.
Yeah. So this is really my ode to the Batmobiles. And I found out a long time ago that you always get the Batmobile. You know, if they put out a whole bunch of different vehicles from movies or cartoons or whatever, you always get the Batmobile. Don't skip that one. Skip the boats or the planes or whatever it is, but the Batmobile's what you should get.
Yeah, and that Hot Wheels always has like several different Batmobiles that never existed except in the Hot Wheels line.
Exactly, yeah.
Look here, we've got the all you Superpowers fans out there. You're looking at the Supermobile. You're looking at Delta Probe 1 and the Calabac Boulder Bomber.
So this is a weird toy, that Calabac Boulder Bomber. I have it over here on the shelf. You'll see it in a little bit. The box is cool, but you know the figure of the toy itself is kind of dorky.
Funny story about the Boulder Bomber is that you'll notice that the launcher, the cup faces the other direction. And you're like, well, why isn't it, cupped to hold the boulder?
Yeah.
It was too good. It was launching it too hard, and they didn't want kids to hurt themselves.
Really?
So they launched it the other way with a little peg there, and it's just it was more of a flipper.
So are you saying you can turn it around and launch it?
I'm never suggesting you modify your Superpowers figures.
Sure.
But, I love this 1940s Batmobile here.
Right.
Huge 1966 Batmobile here. '89 Batmobile in stealth mode. Now, is there a Batmobile under here?
Okay, so this actually goes on top of this toy right here. So this is the Sideshow collectible piece, and he comes with that on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that piece right there goes on top of it.
So this is a great big Jello mold.
So that is a great big mold that goes on top of this right here to protect it. But hey, it looks like it, you know, when he's all armored up. So I put him up there.
I would totally make Jello in this thing.
What a mold that would be. I do have a really cool Batmobile Lego down there. I don't know if these larger ones have a certain name to them, like Ultimates or whatever, but that was a really cool piece. And I don't really like putting Legos together, so my sister did that for me. Thank you very much, Samantha.
I love putting Legos together. So,
yeah.
Especially when you get to like step 14 and you realize, oh, I did step 7 wrong, and you got to disassemble everything.
Well, I got to give her props for the Batwing too. She also did this Ultimate Batwing that I have up there. She made that for me as well. And I think it only took her about 3 days to do each one.
You got some Bat mechs up here.
Yeah, that was that's actually really, really cool. People, I mean, when I first saw that, I thought it was gonna be corny, but when it's apart, it makes it a really awesome Batwing. It's a really cool Batwing. And then there's a couple of Batmobiles and a Bat motorcycle that goes with it. But when you build it all together, it's actually really pretty cool. That just makes me think of like a Power Rangers Zord, but it's pretty neat.
Now this one looks very old.
That's an Avon. That's a 1970s Avon.
Is that Bubble Bath?
I think it was Bubble Bath. I can't imagine it being perfume, but it must have been a Bubble Bath. Yeah, so that's an Avon product.
That's very cool. And then you got the
there's like some Avon boxes down there, and I have those on their side. We saw those the other day. Those are the brushes, right? And a Superman like shampoo, I think.
And then further over here, you got now this looks very Japanese because you got the great big head sticking out of the toy. That's very retro kind of.
That was, believe it or not, the front. You see how the front's clear? That just had candy in there. It was from a candy store.
Oh.
Yeah, I walked in. They had this Batmobile with candy in the front, and like you said, it looks Japanese. I don't think it is. So I picked it up. I think about 15 years ago.
I have that Hallmark ornament somewhere.
Yep. There's 2 Hallmark ornaments. There's actually 3 ornaments right there. Those are all ornaments right there. Yeah, these 3 right here in the front. Yeah, those are all ornaments.
Oh. And then even more, now that's a very big one back there. That's
I don't know if that's the McFarlane one or not. It might be the McFarlane Batmobile. Now, this is the Speed Racer, Speed Racer. This is the Speed Racer car. I just always thought the Speed Racer car was so cool looking, and so I kind of painted it up like a Batmobile.
Okay, so that's a custom Mach 5.
Yeah, that's a Mach 5 that I just kind of painted.
Oh, now see, that's the crossover I want to see in manga. Batman and Speed Racer.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool. The two greatest cars.
Well, he's got an awesome car. I mean, not as cool as a Batmobile. But actually one of the coolest Batmobile toys they've ever made. I got to point it. This right here from Brave and the Bold, which if you've never watched Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon, it's literally one of the best Batman cartoons ever made.
Oh, yeah.
And they made one of the coolest Batmobiles right here. But this is also the Batwing. If you grab this thing underneath, there's a little lever, and you pull it, this thing transforms into a bat jet. It's so cool. So that's a very cool piece.
I can see the hinges along the top.
Right. Yeah. But see, the jet actually looks good. You would think that they could pull it off, but it wouldn't look that good. But the jet actually looks really good. So that's an amazing Batmobile right there.
Just a ton of. I didn't even know they made this many Batmobiles that weren't Hot Wheels. I know Hot
There's
Wheels. There's
so many Batmobiles. Yeah.
A billion of them.
Well, Corgi actually still puts these out in the year right around the year 2000. Corgi they were making a lot of these little Batmobiles right here. And if you pick them up and look on the bottom, they all have different Batman characters stamped on there, and then they have the big Corgi name on there. So that's one. And
I remember they did a Catwoman car with that line.
I have it. Yeah, I have the Catwoman line car. Actually, I think I have her in package on a wall, maybe, or I have her here. One of the two. But there's a Corgi one right there too. That's the larger size that they made. That was also a Corgi around the year 2000. Pretty cool Batmobile.
Just everything Batman in this one, except for when Batman shows up over, and we'll just have to say Star Trek. There's a bunch of Star Trek here.
Yeah,
So-
Star Trek right there. I had to pass some Star Trek stuff for Star Trek fans, so that's one of the places they're at. I have 3 spots for Star Trek.
And then let me try to get an angle here because you got the Bat Cave, Wayne Manor.
Yeah, that's a really cool bat cave, I guess you call it, and it's a cool play set.
Galvin, do you remember having this? Now that you're watching this, you had this.
Yeah.
Cardboard survived and everything. Got too old to play with it anymore. I don't know who gets too old to play with Batman, but
Yeah, not me, obviously. Not me.
oh, he had all the Imaginext figures. I thought the Imaginext figures were underrated, I believe, because
I think they're cool. I have a whole bunch on display on the other side. We kind of passed that section though when we looked at the comics. Yeah, we can go back to it though. So superpowers right here, superpowers vehicles, which my favorite vehicle is the Batmobile, and then the Batcopter. But I gotta say, this is a new McFarlane piece. I gotta say, this for me is one of the absolute coolest pieces that McFarlane's ever done. Now, if you're, this, I guess it's supposed to be that, but it doesn't have the arms on it. So this is, it's wimpy compared to this one right here. This is the one that you saw in the comic books, and this is the one that right down here in the mid 70s, Corgi put out this little Superman mobile toy, and I had that as a kid, and so I just really loved the Supermobile.
I remember when the comics came out.
Yeah, I have them on the wall over there too.
So I don't think these are all showing up the way I would love them to, because we have to be out so far from the thing to show the shelf. But what was I looking at? I don't know what I was looking at. There's just so much cool stuff. Oh, the Blue Beetle bug.
Yeah,
That's
the
a new
bug
one.
next to that Calabac bomber. Yeah, the bug is a very, very cool piece.
Yeah, we mentioned you had all the figures except for the Justice Jogger, affectionately known as the Superman flying toilet.
Yeah, I can't ever stomach paying $300 for what that is. It's just not worth it. But one of my favorite pieces is the Hall of Justice, just because the box art is so amazing.
It is.
The Hall of Justice is okay as a toy, but the box art on that is one of the best all time.
And the Dark Side Destroyer. You have the billboard for Smallville.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And there's that cup. Is that the cup you're talking about?
That is the cup I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
see, I just brought that in this morning.
Yeah,
So
it's got a different bat head on the other side.
Yep. That's a nice set right there.
That's a
The
gorgeous
Justice
set.
League of America, the Brave and the Bold 28.
I have that same set, but I have it in. Let's see if I can get it in there. Yeah, but I have it in Funko Pop, the little mini Funko Pop figures,
Yeah.
and the Starro is a big Funko.
Yep.
But I didn't know they did one in
That was a Mattel. That was a Mattel. And it actually, it takes batteries and it lights up. And he will tell you the history of all of them. He'll tell you the history of Green Lantern, the history of Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Wonder Woman.
So
It'll
it
go
lights
through
up and it talks.
It lights up and it talks.
Must-have item. Hit eBay now.
I think they're around 100 to 150, somewhere in there, but I haven't looked for many years. So,
Worth the price.
oh yeah, I bought 2, one I could open and one I could keep in package.
So various action figures here. I'm seeing the Justice League action line.
Yeah, it was like an action hour. So I like that line a whole lot. They just didn't put out that many figures. But, the Swamp Thing was unexpected. They actually made a Swamp Thing figure for that line. And I really liked the Firestorm, and the Mr. Freeze is really well done.
Yeah. And then below that, we've got, I recognize these Total Justice figures.
Yep, Total
I had
Justice.
most of those.
Total Justice.
I remember.
It's actually a pretty good line. And the surprising figure from this line for me was the Blue Beetle. You don't see too many Blue Beetles, and they made a Blue Beetle for that.
I never saw Blue
Yeah,
Beetle.
so there's the Blue Beetle figure that goes with that.
I remember reading Wizard magazine.
Yes, me too.
And seeing that the Aquaman figure with the silver.
There's a silver one and a gold one right there.
Yeah, one of them was rare. And I looked at my wife. I'm like, I saw 2 of those at Walmart tonight. Walmart was 25 miles away, and it was 11:30 at night.
Right.
She's like, we're not going to
We're not going
Walmart
back.
right now, are we? Why are you getting in the car? And we went back to Walmart in the middle of the night, and I grabbed them off the peg because I was sure somebody was going to grab them.
Right.
Now, this looks like a little mini Mego. That's cloth.
Yeah, that is a Mezco. That's a Mezco reverse flash, and the Mezco do the cloth, but they're the same size. They're a 6-inch figure, but they're the cloth, and so they're pretty neat. I have a few of them. I'm going to point out the Nika. That's a Nika Green Lantern, and he came packaged with either an Alien or a Predator, but they did an Alien and Predator series, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and so that Batman was one of them. This Green Lantern, this Superman with the heat vision, that's a really cool one, and that Batman right behind him, they were a Nika toy, and there's some Nika Batman back there as well, and then some of the
Jack Nicholson Joker
the Jack
back
Nicholson. I'm trying to remember the name of that company. I have it right. The boxes are right here.
I remember the Batman Alien and Batman Predator comics that costume comes from.
Yeah, there's actually one of the Predators right there. They made him a yellow lantern.
Yeah,
which feeds off fear.
And that must be a Nika Batman Dark Knight Returns back there, because that's cloth costume. It looks like.
That is the Mafex.
Okay, so many companies.
I
just did not know were making these.
Yeah, and look at that Cyborg Superman right there. I mean, that's a great figure.
It's a fantastic figure.
Yeah, those Mafex are neat, but they're you're at $100 a pop on that one. Well, let me show you the other. We showed you the Avon Batmobile. There are some Avon hairbrushes. So there's Superman and Batman, so you can brush your hair with them. Yep. And then there's a Wonder Woman, little mirror you could use as well.
I remember having had that brush. I don't know where it got off to. I haven't seen it for years. I'm sure it's gone.
It's probably gone someplace.
But the figures just keep going. If you're an action figure collector or just an aficionado, this is the place to get to.
A lot of DC Direct.
I love the old Batwoman character.
Yeah. She came with a 2-pack, and the other one's Batgirl.
Yes.
So Batgirl's here someplace. But she was a smaller size.
These are such great sculpts. Now there's the Barbara Gordon Batgirl masked and unmasked.
Yep.
Oh, they made I just keep seeing things I never knew they made, like a Billy Batson.
Billy Batson. He was the 2-pack with the Shazam.
The Wally West Kid Flash, and then these are some more statue kind of figures up here.
Well, there's 2 statues right there, and then there's a DC Direct Joker plastic statue right there. Then Hawkman, Hawkgirl, they're DC Directs. There's a San Diego Comic-Con Batman set, and I really like that set just because of the goofy characters. They have the Zebra Batman, the Rainbow Batman, the Negative Batman, and How to Be Batman, and plus just the artwork on it's incredible.
I was looking to see if they had the Zur-N-R Batman, because that's the big hot thing now, is that whole we're going to take this goofy Batman story and make it seminal to the origin.
Yeah. Well, these shelves, by the way, they go all the way down, so the characters go all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, the camera's not doing justice here. That's the Batgirl you were looking for. From that other
there she is. Yeah, that's the other Batgirl. Yeah.
You really have to come in here and see this, folks. Come to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and hit the Northwest Mall. There's Dream of the Endless. Did not know they made an action figure of him.
Yeah, and there's
let alone variant. 2 of them.
Yeah, there's a variant of him.
2, 3, 4. Looks like Death has a variant statue back there.
Yeah.
So, really, this is where I come in and make my Christmas list to go on eBay.
Believe it or not, I have a Christmas list too. Now look, see, I bought 2 of those, and so there's the Rainbow Batman out of package. A lot of times I try to buy 2 of these things so I can keep one in package and one open, but that does tend to get expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see it.
Yeah, you want to put your hands on it. It's like, I got to point out Gleek. Gleek is amazing. So this is the DC Classics line, and they were famous for making all the Build-A-Figures.
Right.
And just beautiful, beautiful figures. I think I like this line actually better than the DC Direct. Even though I have 90% of all the DC Direct, I do have 100% of all the DC Classics.
I've heard that the DC Directs were not built to where you could articulate them with.
Yes, they're not as articulated, but they're pretty. Like, did you ever think you'd see a Hoppy, the Shazam bunny?
No.
I mean, that to me is one of the greatest figures that DC's ever made, because who would ever think? And then you have the Super Champ over here.
Beppo.
Yeah, you You never think you're gonna get that. So that's amazing stuff. But classics edge out DC Direct for me. But I love them both. Obviously, I love them both. If you're watching, you can tell.
Yeah, it was always like, I would just see Batman, and it'd be like all the various Batmans. Getting to see all the different characters of the DC line.
Yeah, when you
Uncle
see like
Sam.
This, Golden Pharaoh from the Superpowers line, they made a Golden Pharaoh. They made a Cyclotron also from the Superpowers line. He's back there. So they did some of that stuff. They made Apache Chief. Apache Chief back there.
He's the big version.
He's the Build-A-Figure.
He went a knock truck, and there he is.
Yeah, there he is. They made Samurai. He's in here someplace. They made El Dorado? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, they made him as well. So, they made figures that are just an ode back to the superpowers.
There's my Vigilante figure back there. I do have him at home.
Yeah, there's that Zebra Batman right there. And there's Watchman, Rorschach right there, Dr. Manhattan.
The whole kit.
Yeah. Those were put out by Mattel, and they had amazing artwork on there. So I kept those boxes, and they're upstairs.
This is the Bruce Timm animated Batman series.
Yeah, here's some of the stuff that's coming out now, and some of the stuff that came out in the last 5 to 10 years on that.
Now up here, I recognize these. These are I don't recognize the company. These little metal figures.
Oh, the little metal figures are Jada. Jada Toys made those. The ones in the back, the Batmans in the back, those are Eagle Moss. And they did Batman from the decades. So they started in the 40s, they went 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so they had a couple of versions from the decades. And I thought, man, those are cool.
Yeah, Eagle Moss, I've been really happy with the stuff I get from them. It's a little expensive, but
now did you show this one right here, the Arkham Asylum? Now I don't play video games, but this line here was just outstanding, especially that Solomon Grundy. That thing, you could take his chest off and you can see all of his internal organs. It's crazy cool. So that's a really cool line. Even though some of these figures are very, very prone to breakage. If you buy Killer Croc, if you buy Bane, don't ever move their arms, or their arms will pretty much snap off, guaranteed to snap off, especially Killer Croc. So I have him, and I've never moved his arms.
Leave him posed.
Legit. Don't move his arms, or they're going to pop right off.
Now, this is interesting. Where you have a faceless Superman mannequin.
I made that. You know how you can go to like an art store, and they sell just the it's all wood.
Yeah.
It's a human body, and artists will get that to kind of, so I just kind of painted that up and put a Superman sticker and a cape on it. So I made that.
And these are the large scale superheroes.
I think they were called Big Figs. And I mean, really, they should have been called Superpowers, because if you look at them, that Batman is straight from Superpowers. That Superman straight from Superpowers, and that Flash, same thing.
Yeah.
So, and then in the back, maybe you can see it there. They have like the old 1938, 1940 version of Superman with the dark S. So I like all the Big Figs.
The bigger, the better sometimes.
Yep.
Even more. You got.
Yeah, there's an SDC Hot Wheels exclusive.
I've got to quit squatting down. I'm going to pass out.
Yeah. We might have to move a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
through this, because
let's keep moving.
If we keep going at this pace.
Now, I was not embarrassed to say that I was into DC Superhero Girls. I loved that show.
There's one in package right there.
That was fun.
Yeah, they were $9, and I was like, okay, I'm going to buy one for my little girl, and I'll also buy one for me.
Okay, so basically, if there was an action figure, you're going to see it here. We're going to make a quick sweep of the busts. All my Sideshow,
all my Randy Bowen. Randy Bowen, I mean, just did such amazing stuff. And you can see all my life-size busts up there. Some of the big Sideshow statues here. And then we have to include the wall real quick. We got to get the wall in there.
The wall is what the Superpowers people are going to be here for. So you got your West Coast Avengers, all your Marvel stuff. We're going to make a quick sweep along the way here.
We got to get some of these Marvel Legends too, real quick. Too.
Yes. Got the DC superheroes figure, which was the Superpowers figure in another lane.
1990, 1991. They came out right after the 89 Batman.
more of the Motu figures in the card. And then, getting to it, Transformers in the card.
Super 7 stuff. I love that artwork on that. Yeah, so here's some superpowers. So you have original stuff on card. You have some of the stuff they made, I think around 2000, I guess 5 to 10, somewhere in there they made those 6 figures. And then, of course, McFarlane's coming out with some new stuff. And then they have the little Kubrick bears down here, too. I'm missing Batman from that set.
Was that shot glasses or microfigures? Microfigures.
Yeah, those are microfigures. Walgreens actually put out some of those, and they're in the corner over there.
Now, a couple of things that people have already pointed out to me on the group, and we'll just point out again. The Cyborg is a real Cyborg. It's the card that is repro.
Right. So if you buy Cyborg mint in package, he'll probably run you around $2,000. And so I bought him loose for $650. And I found someone who made a really good reproduction card, and I just snapped him on there. So that is a reproduction card, and you can always tell because they're not punched.
Yeah.
They don't have that little card punch out there.
Now, one character I want to ask about, if you can tell us the backstory on, because I've never seen El Capitan Ray.
Okay, so El Capitan Ray and the Riddler down here, those are also remakes. So there's a customizer that puts those out. If you have the real ones, they're going to be around $3,000 to $4,000. And so they were made in Argentina. And so there's a little company down there that made some of these really off-the-wall figures from Argentina. And so I got those as well for display purposes. I don't think I'm ever going to spend $3,000 or $4,000 to actually get one. So
I would not.
These customizers do a pretty good job. And so I think I got those for around $100 a piece. And they'll fill out your collection pretty good if you just want something for the visuals.
I'm sweeping the wall here. You can see the old Marvel figures, the X-Men 97 stuff. Somewhere around here, I think we've already passed it, the Marvel Secret Wars figures that came out.
Yeah, we have that up here.
Me goes along the top wall here in bubble packs.
Yeah, right here are the Secret Wars.
So, and with the shields and with the little inserts that you would put into them to watch the action unfold. That was a great time to be a comic collector.
Yeah, the mid-'80s was great.
This is the Marvel Legends you wanted to get to here.
Yeah, I got to show the Marvel Legends. So I'm a huge Marvel Legends collector. I think I have every Marvel Legend made except some of the newer stuff coming out right now. I'm still waiting to get some of that brand new stuff that's come out in the last couple of months. But everything going back to 2003, I have the whole line here. And you could come and hopefully have your cell phone to kind of gaze into the depths of these shelves and go through there and see all the characters.
Howard the Duck. Who doesn't love Howard the Duck?
Yep.
Are those?
Those are McDonald's.
McDonald's cards. Yeah.
Either McDonald's or Hardee's. They were cranking those out. That's a very cool Ghost Rider up there. Marvel Legends 12-inch.
This is this place that here.
That's that in the back.
Yeah.
That's going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and it's the collector and some of the Moon Boys on there. Cosmos is on there, and Lockjaw's in there. Howard the Duck. So that was a nice little set they put out. I try to get all the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives for Marvel.
Do you go or do you mail order?
No, I order them on eBay when they come out.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Mafex right there as well. Mafex pieces.
You could literally just walk around here for a couple hours and
We'll
still
show
not see anything.
this shelf right here. So most of these bottom shelves are kind of like this right here.
They're just all crowded. A couple of different. There's Punisher, Maskless Black Spider-Man.
This just goes on.
A spectral Doctor Strange, astral plane Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Some Professor X's in there. The Moon Knight figures. It's just more and more apparent. It's like they're so crowded in that they can't move.
Well, I was going to run out of space, so I had to kind of jam them all in here.
You almost have to bring your cell phone for this top shelf here, so you can just kind of get up here on top, and then go home and say, "What was in that shelf?"
Well, you know, if you're taller than me, I'm 5'8", so if you're 6 foot, you'll have no problem. I should rent step stools, I guess.
Liability on that would be.
Yeah.
That set there looks familiar, but I don't know why.
That's the new Marvel Legend. They actually count as Marvel Legends, and we passed them over here.
Okay.
They're all down there on the wall.
So those are newer. They look like they'd be older.
These are newer. No, these are newer. And so there they are. There's a few more in the back over there as well, some bad guys. But yeah, they're under the Marvel Legends banner. I got to point this guy. He's one of the rarest. This is an original. This is not a remake, but this is Dragon Man.
Dragon Man.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought Grey Gargoyle, but no, it's
Dragon Man. A lot of these in here are Build-A-Figures. That Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the different Sentinels.
A bunch of Sentinels. And here's a bunch of the, down here at the very bottom. You can't, well, you got some of the big Nika stuff down here as well.
That's a giant Hulk.
It's a giant Hulk. Yeah. Yep. Here's a very cool set, the Marks. Oh, forgot. We got to show these Secret Wars, because Secret Wars people are going to be like, well, where's the European releases? Well, there you go. There's Iceman, there's Electro, and there's Constrictor, and then there's the Etsy custom, the Beyonder.
Wait, the Beyonder, that's the one that's the Fantastic Four, X-Men.
Yeah, he's like a mishmash of all of the heroes that were on the Battle World.
That's amazing.
And there's one too. There's another custom. There's an Ant-Man.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Very shiny.
Yeah, very shiny. I painted them and clear coated them. But I was going to say these are the 60s, the Marks figures. And these came in a variety of colors: silver, orange, green, blue, and red.
But did they come as a set?
Well, I bought them as a set. Most people want to complete the set, but they came separate.
Because if you wanted to get them all the same color, that could be a challenge.
Yes. I think the red is the most common. I think the silver is the rarest. But actually, over the years, I've seen a lot of them actually painted. And I always assumed that when people got them, that they painted them themselves. But someone recently told me, a comic book dealer recently told me that no, that the company actually put out some of those actually painted. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. So maybe the company actually painted them and put them out as well.
Some more G.I. Joe size Marvel figures here.
Yeah, so this was the 3.75-inch Marvel Universe line that came out in the early 2000s. And so I think I have all of it. I do try to get all of that.
Todd, asking out of personal concern, do you have groceries at home?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Making sure.
And by the way, let me tell you all that I was a history teacher for 20 years. And I built this collection on the salary of a history teacher. Believe it or not.
I was worried.
Now, I did teach a lot of summer school, and I did do extra duties after school. I did a home hospital. And I did that for kids. And so there's things that I did over the years to make extra money to help fund some of this stuff. But this is a history teacher building this. The Galactus down here, the HasLab Galactus, one of my favorites. And I had to buy two just because the face, that death face I had to have. And then I wanted to have the classic Galactus as well. And there's the HasLab Sentinel with the Master Mold head on it as well.
Yes.
And then this is the Marvel Selects. I love Marvel Selects, just the size and the sculpt on the Marvel Selects. I have some of them in there with some of the Marvel Universe as well. Now, I think we need to finish off with my life size over here.
Life size, people. And just to show how heroic life size is, they're bigger than me.
Yep, except Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's, So we've got the Hulk, we've got Iron Man, Captain America. I'm not touching him. I'm not.
Classic Iron Man, which is my favorite, But a lot of people today are going to like that modern from the movie Iron Man, which I have him over here too. So here we have a Spider-Man that is 5'8", which that's what Spider-Man would be, and I'm 5'8". So, if I was standing out here in front, you can see that I would come up just barely to Captain America's chin, or basically to Hulk's pectorals. Hulk is 8'6".
That's big.
Yeah, I have a 7'4" back there as well, and I have, like I said, the modern a modern Iron Man, and then one of my 2 Batmans. I don't know if you saw it or not, maybe next time, but up in the front of my store, I have a life-size Superman and a life-size Batman, and I have one more back here as well. This is my favorite one, though. Like I was telling RJ the other day, I really like this one because of his 5 o'clock shadow, and I just love the pose. And he's got the yellow around his bat symbol. My other one up there doesn't have the yellow on it.
Now, you don't have the Batarang in the hand, though.
I have the Batarang down here. I could put it in there, and it does light up. But I don't understand why a Batarang would light up. But his eyes do light up.
Some of them light up now. I've noticed if they're going to explode,
oh, okay.
He presses it like, and it goes, and he's got the power bar, and that's like, that's when you throw.
Well, that explains it. My Iron Man lights up as well. His eyes, his chest, his hands, they light up as well.
This is fantastic stuff. All the vehicles on the back here, if you're a Hot Wheels collector or a superhero vehicles collector, you could be here.
Like I said, always get the Batmobile.
Always.
And then this is a variety of different kinds of, I guess you call it smalls when it's, smaller things. So this is a variety of, quote, smalls, all kinds of stuff. The Superhero Squad, I guess that was pretty popular.
I love that.
The Superhero Squad cartoon. So I have a bunch of those right there. And
that was a fun show.
A variety of other things here.
And then capping off this whole collection here, you got these statues up here.
Got some more statues. I don't think we showed the statue section that well, but that's okay. Come down and see it. You can see all my statues here. I do have some nice black and whites here. I have some Marvel mini statues. And got a nice Batman right over there as well.
As much time as we spend here, folks, you didn't see it all.
Wow.
And by the time you get here, it'll be all different anyway.
I'll be changing things up.
Todd, thank you so much for letting us
come in and
talk.
Hey, out there, if you saw this video, let your friends and family know. I need support. I'm just starting off. Hopefully there's going to be enough support to keep this type of place afloat. So come see me if you can.
I will be editing this video later tonight to make sure that your Facebook link gets put in the description so that people can find you. If you're traveling through, Northwest Arkansas, Bentonville, Eureka Springs, Fayetteville is where we are, the Northwest Mall down by JCPenney. Come check it out and, just have yourself a fun time looking at toys. And
take care.
I had that.
Bye. Perfect. I think that went great.
It will when it ends. Little bitty buttons on the